they're the people that made Santa red. And
They made Santa red?
Santa is only red and white because of Coca-Cola. Before that, he was green and brown. Always, traditionally. Promise you this is true. You can look at that. He was green and brown, always. That was what he wore. Coca-Cola, in, like, literally the early 1900s, changed it to red.
But isn't Coca-Cola not a thing? I know it basically is. They're not absolutely everywhere, but Santa, I think, is red everywhere.
But now,
like,
yeah,
surely because of marketing.
But they changed. So when they started advertising Santa as part of Coca-Cola at Christmas, they put him in red and white. And that is now why worldwide he's red and white.
Wow. That is fucking mental. Yeah. Well, welcome back to the podcast. Welcome back to the Scratch Record podcast. Today we're joined by another guest in the studio, the first one of 2022. We are joined with Jason Allan. Welcome to the podcast, mate.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
How have we been keeping? All right?
Yeah, not too bad. Not too bad. I'm not dead.
That's a plus.
Because people keep dying all the time.
All the time.
It's horrific.
It's mental.
It is fucking mental.
And I didn't, which is good because this would have been really difficult if I.
It would have been tough.
We probably had harder guests to get a conversation on than a dead body at times, I think.
And from what I've heard before, host-wise, you guys as well might as well have been dead for a couple of them.
Yeah. We literally might as well have some of the
which
lost
didn't get uploaded, I've been told. So you're alright, you don't need to watch it.
To be fair, they have all been scrapped. We have a real thing of where, like, if it doesn't cut it, you ain't gonna see it. We've got 4, 5, 6 episodes that no one's ever gonna see, like, ever, because they're horrendous.
Hopefully this is number 7.
It's fucking cross.
Well, we wanted to start this podcast a little bit differently, going into new year, new us. New podcast.
Yeah, we're going to go on a 5K.
Couch to 5K.
We're not. We're not.
We're going to start with some one-word answers from you. We've got some questions we want to give. You want to give the answer. One word, nothing else.
Okay.
Right?
Wait, sorry, did you explain that correctly?
Question given to you.
Yes.
You answer with one word.
No, yeah, I got that.
For 2 marks.
I am sick, but I got that.
No, I didn't get it, which is why I was that is our show. I just want to make sure that we're on the same page, right?
Just you questions. You asking me one-worded questions.
Yeah. That's what we did earlier.
Which?
Yeah.
How?
Do you know what? It's not a bad idea because that would really it would get the cogs going, wouldn't it?
One word question, one word answer.
You have no idea.
Which? 12?
Million views.
You never know.
Right, so first thing you grab in the morning.
I see it. Are we saying the first?
One word?
My girlfriend's bum. Oh, that's
so many words. Just use bum.
What is the perfect age?
24.
So glad I'm for legal age.
Jesus Christ.
Like 13.
Oh, fucking hell.
Best ice cream flavour?
Butterscotch.
Ooh.
That's 2 words. One word.
Yeah. No, that's fine, yes.
Is TikTok the future?
Yes.
What do you think of the metaverse?
Future.
Wild. Do you have a phobia?
Yes.
Oh, you see, that. I mean,
what phobia?
Many.
Ooh. Cats?
No.
Dogs?
No.
Spiders?
Yes.
Oh.
This is now just one word podcast.
Every fucking whole podcast is one word exchanges. That is unique, to be fair.
Yeah, I mean, no one's
the
done
one
it.
word answer podcast.
Cats.
Write that down.
No. That's what it is. Yes. It makes it sound like I like them. It's the exact fucking opposite.
Yeah.
Right. Well,
is that it? Yeah.
I mean, that's all I've got written. You can.
No. That wasn't a criticism. Is that it? Just is that it?
Yeah,
sort of
that is it.
Yeah. Okay.
What's the perfect age was dirty. I got very hot under the collar.
Yeah, I could see. It was a good, solid legal answer, which is
we're really
24.
24. Yeah. That is prime.
7.
Actually.
The average age.
Oh, Christ. What would you say the perfect age is?
Yeah, let's flip it.
That's Is it? See, this is where we can expand the question. So, as in the perfect age that you have to then stay at for your whole life. Like, are you stuck in the age?
No, I think it's like a prime age. Like, what is the prime age? Because I think we've got, I think as our age, we've got a warped view of it because of.
How old are you, Jason?
24.
Okay.
Yeah, so you're 22, I'm 23. So like, we've got a bit of a warped view because the last 2 years.
Yeah.
The last 2 years, we've essentially not done a lot.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because of like COVID
we didn't
and stuff.
Die,
like, we didn't. We just
positive. Time that we're on pause.
Yeah, it's a bit like we're on standby.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So it's like
I like this sort of age right now.
Yeah.
22.
There's no stress. Well,
whoa.
Tell a lie, actually.
Can we swap lives?
Okay, no.
So much stress.
I promise you.
We are in the middle of a fucking pandemic. There is so much stress.
Literally, just all I have is stress.
Yeah, I mean, okay. I forget lots of massive events in my life.
So I forgot all the stress, but apart from all the stress, no stress.
What I mean is that there is, you don't have to have words, Elliot. You aren't necessarily tied down to one specific place, one specific career, one specific, like, do you know what I mean? You can do what you want.
I totally get where you're
do you know what I mean? You can do what you want with less risk of failure.
Not to get into the molly-mae thing with the whole, you're not the same 24 hours. It's not as far as that, because obviously there's so many people who have restrictions and limitations, but this is the best time to ever be alive.
Yeah.
Bar the fucking, all the death.
Yeah.
Death happens all the time though.
Does.
More now because of the last 2 years, but it is the best time to ever be alive because of the tools that we have at our disposal.
Yeah.
There's so many different ways that you can make an income, whereas maybe our parents, you had to work.
Yeah.
And that's it. You made as much as you made, and you can't, if you're not fucking rich or anything like this, you can't, make that extra money to start your business and, do all these things which you can do now from your phone.
It's like that kind of almost like that American dream thing of like, that's what America was known as you could have that, and that's almost now just a worldwide thing.
It's the internet dream, isn't it?
Yeah, you just want to do something, think about it, and you can, as you said, just do it. And I think, going back to that molly-mae thing, I think it was one of the most interesting things that has like ever happened, because I think I blame Stephen, the host of the podcast, 100% for what happened there.
Yeah.
And we can click this up, we can add
Yeah.
It was one of the poorest interview techniques I've ever seen. Because when she was talking, if you listen to the full podcast, you know exactly what she means.
Yeah.
What she means is everyone starts at different levels, but whatever level you're at, she's got all this opportunity, but she's made sure she's made the best of it.
Yeah.
That's all she meant.
Yeah.
She was given this, she could have just settled for that and been sort of, I'm here and I'm going to do this, but what she's done is that.
Yeah.
Amazing. And what she's saying is, if you're here, you can always try and do that. You're there.
You can always try and do better. You can always try and do that.
That's what she was trying to say.
Yeah.
She said it.
We all have the power to try and analyze our lives and try and do better with the time that we have. And we all have the same amount of time. There's so many other factors that aren't the same, but the one factor that is the same is the amount of time we have.
Yeah, and that's what she was trying to say.
She was trying to say that. The way she said it and came across was really bad, right? I think, and especially the way it got clipped up and shared about and whatever. But I think he, as an interviewer, should have caught on to when she was speaking and been a bit like,
structured it for her.
And almost given her the chance to say, that's a good point. Can you just explain to me what you mean by hard work, for example? Because she's been ripped out being like, or like on TikTok, and it'll be like, I'm watching Harry Potter for the 5th time, just working hard, like my mate told me to, like her, because she put stories up. By working hard, she doesn't mean she's fucking grafting on site for 12 hours a day.
Yeah.
She means, she's not going into a fucking warehouse and like building boxes for 14 hours and no break and stuff. It just means she's thinking about things all the time. She's trying to make the correct decisions all the time. She's like putting everything into it. But like, I almost felt like he just needed to press her a bit on what do you mean by that? And actually, she'd have saved herself. She just had a little bit more of a...
Yeah, I also think it's weird because that podcast is obviously a very business-orientated podcast, and lots of people in the past on that podcast have said similar things, but they're all CEOs of companies.
Oh, so it's a business podcast.
The
conversations like that. Yeah. So this is where before we get into it, right? I wanted to first off the bat say, and I think more people should do this. I haven't fucking watched it.
Yeah.
I've only known about this because it's all over the place, right? And people will latch on because the way that the algorithms will hear opinions that we agree with instantly, right? So there'll be people that agree with her and are fed content which is like defending her, and then other people which will disagree with her on their phones, they'll see things that
negative.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I can guarantee most of the people that have an opinion on it haven't even seen
the whole thing,
me included.
Yeah.
Right? So I don't even want to speak about it because it's important that we do, but I don't want to act like I know fucking anything. And I think that's what people need to do is admit that they don't fucking know anything.
Yeah.
We're so opinionated because we have this thing in our phone, which it makes us feel validated. But what most people need to realize is just because you can say something doesn't mean you know anything.
Yeah.
So I don't fucking.
100%.
I've not watched it, so I'm not going to pretend that I know.
Yeah, I think there's a massive thing with that, and I think the biggest problem with what happened with Molly-mae in this scenario was the issue that we do have with the virality of social media and social media stars.
Yeah.
That is a positive and a negative of the world we live in at the minute because. You know, if someone picks up on it and takes it out of context like that, it can get blown up way out of proportion. Yeah. But the second thing that happened in that situation is that she's gone on a podcast that's business orientated. Mm-hmm. She's very closed about the business she does. So if you actually sit and you look through, I've done it, and I know it might sound very weird, but I've sat and looked at her business accounts. I've opened up I've gone onto Company House and I've searched her business accounts to look at the ins and outs of what's going on with what she's got. She's director of 3 or 4 companies. Mm-hmm. So actually, when the thing that we seem to get in this world of whether it be social media, podcast, music, it's all the same stuff. People don't understand the graft. And I think when, you know, people that work on site or people that work in harder labor and stuff like that see someone like Molly-mae talking about it, talking about hard work and talking about stuff like that, they don't understand the level of like what hard work for her is, because hard work is a general statement, is something that is not specific to getting your hands dirty or working out or doing stuff like that and grafting for 12, 13 hours. Hard work for Molly-mae is actually the fact she's got to sit through a 3-hour business call about filter, about what shops it's going to go into, about how they're going to market it, and she's got to think of that photo shoot. And as creative director of Pretty Little Thing, she doesn't just, even when she sat watching Harry Potter, like the meme that everything that's come out, she's actually sat half watching it. And I don't know whether you do it, but I definitely do it. I half watch something, but I'm also thinking about I'm thinking about what we're doing on the podcast now. What's the next step? What's our next chance of going viral? What's our next chance of seeing a video that someone's going to look at and go, oh shit, they're doing all right.
Yeah.
And that's I think the big misunderstanding with that whole thing is that a lot of people are like, Molly-mae don't really work. She makes YouTube videos and watches Harry Potter. And I think that's the biggest thing that's griped me a bit. Yeah. Because I sat and watched the interview the other day, and I like, don't get me wrong, I wouldn't say she's no Warren Buffett, but like she is some form of business orientated person.
Yeah.
And whether that business is production of videos, because her editing style isn't necessarily, you know, Netflix or like Netflix qualified, but she still has that editing mind. She still structures her videos. She still creates all the content. She still can look on what viral trends are going. And there is a whole thing about that people in your everyday jobs, per se, might not quite understand. And I think that frustrated me with seeing it all on the internet. But I do think you are right with saying how he could have poked at her to structure her argument or structure her statement 100%. A little bit better. That was something 100%. That I thought...
He's done like 150 episodes of that podcast. It's a Diary of a CEO podcast. So he's interviewed everyone. It is a really good podcast.
It's a brilliant podcast.
It's brilliant. It is really good. And he's interviewed people like who started, you know, Starling Bank and gone into how did you do that and Deliveroo and said how have you, and really good podcast.
Gymshark and all that as well.
So good. Yeah, he's had him on twice. It's really good. But I just think in that scenario, I think he was a little bit not scared of her, but she doesn't do interviews at all. She doesn't do them.
Yeah.
It's like one of the first ones she's ever done. He really wanted to just let her speak maybe, but I think he needed to just at that moment almost cut her a little bit and be like, can you just clarify some of these points? Because to be honest, if you listen to it, I think she came across worse in other parts of that interview than she did in that.
Oh, really?
Bit. Yeah, I mean, you know, she said things like she has no friends.
Yeah.
She doesn't speak to anyone, all this sort of stuff. And she said, she was talking about like having friends from like school and previous times. She was like, I had loads of friends, but I don't have time to see them. She was like, I can't be bothered going out for dinner, making small talk, splitting the check. I don't have time. And for me, that's bollocks.
I don't
think anyone doesn't. I think those people that were there with you as friends when you were younger and school times and all that sort of stuff, they're the most important people, and I don't believe anyone doesn't have time to keep in touch.
I think it depends on the
have a bit of dinner with your friends. I just think like for someone to say I don't have time, so I've just ditched them all, which literally is like the words that she gave. I was a bit like, and that's again, it's not a criticism. That's what she's chosen to do. But for me, that was a bit like I don't really agree with that. I think you can, obviously have that work hard, but she's not like
it's circumstantial and circumstantial and priority based as well, though. Like for us, we're quite lucky. We've got a group of 10 friends that we see all the time, that we do everything with, that meet everyone that we meet, and we, do this with Chris and we do stuff with Sam, and you know what I mean. We've got a group of friends that everyone knows, and we're all really tight, and not many people necessarily have that. And for her, she probably never had that in school where they were that tight, and then went into this world that's like, she's fucking 21. Like, she's gone into this world.
She's 21?
She's 21, 22, yeah. So she's gone into this world, got fucking 6 million in the fucking bank. These people that she related to as on a friendship level and aren't necessarily like really tight family friends, then they probably did drift apart. And that's when she's probably saying like, I've been dead busy for the last 6 months, and she might feel like she hasn't got any of these people that she can go back to because they weren't ever tight enough. Them friends that you don't see for 6 months and you chat to, it's like you've never not seen them. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but I don't like, that's what she was saying. She's lost friends because she didn't have time to see them.
You normally get that. You have different types of people, man, and they all see the world through their own different kind of paradigms, and they have their own. Yeah, exactly. They have their own lens of which is like higher priorities to them. So some people will put on a higher priority their friends and their family over their work.
Yeah,
and that's maybe people that won't be fucking millionaires and all this kind of stuff, but like, you're envious of how loving and empathetic they are, and it's like just seems like they are emotionally secure, and you know what I mean, they're just emotionally healthy. Whereas obviously you'll have lots of millionaires and billionaires that are fucking miserable and depressed, because their paradigm and the way that their brain works is their work and money orientated. So they'll put all of their they'll base their ego on and their happiness on how well their business is doing. So they might not want to give their time to their friends and their family, maybe not because they don't want to see them, because it doesn't make them happy. Like, because they're like, oh, I know, but my business will lose this amount of money, and I'm not doing this, and I just think that's where a bit of confusion might be, because there's other people who have that paradigm of like, you should be more for your friends and your family, and she's like,
and I do,
and for me,
I completely agree with you. Like, that's 100% true, and that's why then in the interview again later down the line he kind of says like, what is important to you, what's the next step, what's the most important thing in life, and she says the most important thing to me is my family, spending time with people that I love, having like enjoying life and being able to spend time with family, etc. So I just think it was almost a little bit like she was media trained by 6 different people who all had different ideas. She's answering.
Well, Danielle said to say this. Yeah, this in this moment.
Exactly. It was like, right, at this point, what I'm going to say is, I don't have any friends. I've got a really small circle. I don't have time to see my friends. I see my boyfriend and I work. That's it. What's the most important thing to you? My family. I think, and it was all just a bit. I just thought just felt a little bit like, again, I'm not criticising her because I think she's amazing, and I think he could have helped her a little bit in this scenario, but. It was just a little bit. I was like, now I'm starting to just think none of what you're saying is
that seems disingenuous.
Saying things for the sake of it kind of sounds, because you can. You've heard it, and I'm going to say this now, and then I'm going to say this now.
She's in a position now where she can do an Instagram story and get $6,000 or 60 grand. Do you know what I'm saying?
So she's ignored everything and just kept going.
You have the fucking freedom now to hire people to do that shit for you. Yes, you can maybe do an hour a day or something on the phone to whoever the fuck it is, your main manager, to oversee things. But if you are in that position where you have that much money and you have the ability to make that much money that quickly, if you want to prioritize your friends and family, you will.
Exactly. And I just think do or don't, and either choice is absolutely fine. But that kind of, I don't. But it's the most important thing.
I don't. But I promise I will. Unless I want to do it, you fucking can. You literally can do whatever the fuck you want.
That's what pissed me off, because she said, "This is what I want to prioritize, but I don't have time to go for dinner with my friends." I'm like,
you fucking do.
I also think his interview style didn't help her in any way.
That's what I mean. He just nodded along.
But also he's very question and answers, which works for people that are business and meeting trained, I guess, to some extent. Like, but when you're social media trained, it's a different
it's
thing.
an interview, not a conversation.
Yeah, it's an interview. So he literally comes out and you can see he's got his iPad in front of him and he essentially reads questions out and then will have slight conversation. But as soon as that question's answered, he'll move straight on to the next question. And that's something that I found quite interesting watching it, of it being like it was almost like, I'm going to say it again, like mainstream media interviews. Like we always joke about all the time on this podcast, is they are question and answers and most of the time shit questions. So there's no conversation, no actually learning about the person. 100%. And you can kind of tell that he's come into it being like, I really think it'd be interesting to interview these people. Got a producer in that's from a bigger corporation that's helping him write the questions and do the interview style. And it comes across very high media trained, which, don't get me wrong, works for some things. But I think in a world that we live in, where we do these type of podcasts, like we kind of pick it apart a bit because we can sit and have a conversation for 15 minutes about this whole topic with someone there's someone that's just walked through the door. Do you know what I mean? And it's a completely different style.
Also, you're meant to be here.
I don't even know who he is.
Just arrived. He lives next door.
But after all that, so we have a little chat actually with Jason about you and a music podcast that we run that we should probably. Jason,
what makes you happy?
Not gonna lie, right? So I'm not gonna do a molly-mae, right? I love my friends, I love my family, but I am a very work-driven person.
Yeah.
So I feel
I'm trying to hold my hand.
Sorry, I am. You make me happy.
Yeah. We just wander off the sunset.
I get a lot of happiness out of my work.
That's good.
And if I'm doing well at that, I'm happy, and if I'm not, I get a bit depressed. But it's it's all about balance, really. And like I've been really this year putting a lot of effort into trying to better my mental health and not be so concentrated on the work. Trying to strengthen relationships with my family and my friends, because if you have that narrative of like work, you got to be fucking successful, you got to do this, then those connections, they weaken.
Yeah.
But I do love money, not gonna lie. I think we all love money.
Yeah.
The thing is with money is that it's a facilitator, isn't it? And that's how I always see it. Because I just think like people who are obsessed with money, I just think like that's where the balance comes. Because if you want to live life here, you need this much money to do it. And not like crazy, but you've got to, like for me, everything that's come in, it just, now it's like, right, now what? That like gives you this amount of opportunity.
That's what it is for me. It's like, a better way to have put it was, the thing that makes me happy is like my freedom. And there's no better way to get your own freedom, is to be able to do things independently. And nowadays it's like you're selling your life away for a wage. So that's no kind of freedom. So if you want actual freedom where you're not doing that, you need to be self-sufficient. And to do that, you need to have your own business. You need to have doing your own thing. And I'm so lucky in the fact that I can sing. And I've been able to monetize that by doing what I love. And that is the difference between a job and a career, is that I'm making money doing the thing that I love. So I know that I can genuinely do it forever.
Yeah.
And forgot what my original point was.
When you say work, I find it's quite interesting to ask people that do you, because you have multiple avenues. Would you say your work is music orientated content, or are you just a musician that's using the content as an amplifier of your music?
So this is always a struggle, especially musicians, because all we want to do is do our craft and people to enjoy it, but we're tied down to an algorithm that only shares it if you make it funny or like memeable and something like this. So you need to find a balance where the content is you promoting your music. You're not completely going against, your own morals, but you still do need to get yourself out to that audience. So I feel like I've kind of found the middle ground where, because I am busking and it's a thing that people knows exists, but it's like a fleeting thing. You'll see a busker. But I feel like my content gives people like an in-depth the life of a busker and behind the scenes and gives you the highlights. So I'll be busking for 5-6 hours a day, and I might whittle that down to 2 or 3 30-second videos. So you get the absolute highlights. And then just through, I mean, I don't have a huge fan base, but we're small and they're fucking amazing. Like every single time I'm live or every video that I upload, they'll be commenting, go and check out his Patreon, go check out his Spotify, go check out his tour. And they just get it. Yeah. They get that if I was literally just sat at home playing my guitar and singing, it would go out to 200 people. Yeah, I sing to an old person and they're watching and we have a bit of a moment. That'll go out to 200,000 people.
Yeah.
And it's just through that, you need to then be like, to anyone that doesn't want to just be like, that's nice, and then swipe. People that want to know a little bit more, you capture them and be like, listen, I also do this and this and this. And if you want to come along on that journey with me, absolutely brilliant. And if not, then just keep scrolling.
Yeah, 100%. And I think like we had a bit of a chat before about like selling tickets to your gigs and all that sort of stuff. And like you said about, you know, selling more tickets when you bust in that place.
Yeah.
And I think like that is, you know, the different, as you say, even if you do see a video of someone and you think they're good, like I do it all the time. Yeah. I might like it, I might follow them, you might never come across them again. At most, you're then going to go onto their Spotify.
Yeah.
Like that journey to get to the point of seeing someone live is longer. If you meet you in the street and you make someone's day, and I saw a video the other day of you letting that girl on her 18th birthday and she sang, she was amazing. Like, she will not forget that moment. And that's incredible.
Yeah.
Her journey then to buy a ticket to your gig is like, she'll probably did it as she was walking off. Because she'll have thought, he's met you, he was amazing. You'll have said, I do live shows. She'll be like, fucking brilliant, I'll come see you. That journey's like, it's like one step, not like 15 to go through like all of the social media like that. Face-to-face interaction is like just amazing. It works so well.
So she messaged me like later on that evening being like, oh, I can't wait to come to your show. Like, it's brilliant. So that's a kind of situation where it is like immediate because I've had direct interaction with that person. I've genuinely connected with them. I've looked them in the eye. I've had a conversation. I've got to know their name. And we've got like a nice moment out of it, which she was okay with me uploading it. And, you know, no one gets hurt kind of thing. So I'm uploading it and it's making other people's day as well. But that's like a one-on-one thing. Whereas other people that are watching it, it might be like 5 or 6 or 7 steps.
Yeah.
You know, it might need to be like the 3rd or 4th time they've seen me pop up and they're going, oh, okay, right. Well, because I've done that before. I see someone's video and I like it and I'll just like it. I won't follow them.
Well, that's what happened with me. Casey. That's how I kind of like caught on to Casey a little bit more. He popped up on my like timeline a handful of times.
Fucking get rid of us.
You can't. You can't.
But that's what
you're like, fine, I'll follow you.
It's you, Casey, and that's Seb Lowe. Constant. All he does a lot of like old school Jamie T style indie music, but it's all very politically motivated.
Okay.
And it's brilliant.
And fucking Lou as well.
And Lou, to be fair. Lou always fucking gets his face up there. But like constantly on the timeline, it then causes that next time to go and actually decide to follow.
So that's the one connection they've now followed, and then you know maybe 2 weeks later another video pops up and they might just make their way to the comments and they might just see one of my fans being like, he's doing a show.
Yeah.
And they'll think, fuck that. And then, you know, another 3 weeks, they'll see me again. And, you know, I'm actually starting to like this guy.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll check him out on Spotify and they'll like listen to it and that's fucking shit. And then, you know what I mean? And it's like, it's just this gradual thing where like, eventually they might just be like, no, I'll go and check this guy out.
Yeah.
And they might just like a song.
Yeah.
And then they might just realize that I'm doing a show and they're like, yeah, fuck it, I'll buy a ticket.
Yeah.
And then that's like a slower way.
I think busking does lend itself, like your form of content lends itself really well to people following with less links, like you were saying, of less time coming up, because it feels personable, but also you've got your socials are in your face straight away because they're on that board that you sit in front of you. Actually, almost like that, just because of busking, you're trying to get your name out there anyway.
Yeah.
When you then film it, it is that same structure, just straight to your mobile. So it actually you can see all of your apps straight away. You can see you're on Spotify. You recognize the logos all straight away. So people are more inclined to just be like, oh, he actually makes music? And like, I don't know whether we do it more because of what we do, but like you do kind of like click on and go, oh, I'll have a listen to them, or I'll have a listen to them, or their own tracks. And that busking style gives it that extra edge, I think, to someone else who might be like, I don't know, like just doing their lyrics to be like a bit like what's it, that Gale that does that? A, B, C,
D, E, fuck you, and your darling,
Right, have you seen the TikTok for how that has got so big?
Saw it today.
Belter. I'm so glad that I watched it because it just, my head just was like fucking fried.
What is in the original TikTok that made it viral?
Yeah, so
it's deeper than that.
It's much deeper than that. So she put out something being like, give me topics to...
As in the artist did?
Yeah, Gail. What's it? Gail. G-A-Y-L-E.
I've literally
Gail, I think.
I don't even know. I just knew the song.
I think it's Gail. Could be very... Could be very wrong.
Oh, shit, son.
Love you, Gail.
She's definitely not called Gail. She's not next door neighbour's called Gail, and she ain't called Gail, is she?
No, I don't know, maybe. I think so.
People are called Gail all the time.
Yeah.
Dwight Gale, Gail Clichy, 2 footballers.
There you go.
You're welcome.
Cheers, Dad. Anyway.
EastEnders as a Gale, swear.
Welcome to the Gale podcast, everyone.
Fucking hell. Can I finish the story now?
Scratch Gale podcast.
Oh, scratch a Gale.
Don't scratch her, she hates that.
Scratch a sniff.
Sniff?
Anyway, moving on swiftly.
Yeah.
So she put out something being like, give me topics to sing about. And someone put a song including the alphabet. This someone is actually a woman called Hannah or whatever. I'm going to use Hannah. It might not be. But it's a name.
Gail.
If you then... Gail too. If you then search that name, she works for the company that is her record label, Universal Music.
Right.
She works for Universal Music in digital marketing.
Right.
So that's who Gail is signed to.
Yeah.
So she's put that in, used it, and then she sung acoustically this A, B, C, D, E, F, U, and G. So that, and everyone's gone, fuck, this is good. She wrote that.
It's so authentic.
It seems so authentic because it's her personal account.
Can't trust fucking anyone.
No, you can't.
And then it blew up from that because then people feel like they're involved.
It's like what we do. We put an Instagram story up the question and then it's just us sending answers in and they're like, no, they got 12 answers to that question. Literally over the rest. Yeah. Sorry, I don't put my there. Nah, they know.
Guys, I'm about to interject. I'm about to go for a wee.
Yeah. Crack on. Yeah. We'll take a half-way
just
break.
Do I wee
just
here?
Piss.
I
Yeah.
Put urinals.
Just in the glass and then put it back on the table.
We'll
keep the piss afterwards and sell it. Yeah. Just leave that
put it in a bottle, freeze it.
See you soon, lads.
Yeah, see you in a minute.
God bless yourself, sorry.
Imagine just leaves. It's so inconvenient for the end of the podcast.
Brewdog, welcome
Gets you
back.
pissed.
Gets you pissed after half a can.
Yeah, welcome back. I want to talk about the busking and maybe go ever so slightly more normal interview because I'm just really interested. The busking.
Yeah.
When did it start? Why did you want to do it? Because I presume you kind of did it first and all the content came later, or was it?
Oh yeah, much later.
Like, so give us a little story of how it kind of came about.
So I was busking before even like Facebook was like massive. Like I first started when I was like eight years old.
Oh, God.
So like 16 years ago.
Oh my.
Yeah,
God.
a long time. But I started like just knocking on people's doors and just doing it that way.
That's quality.
Yeah,
What, with a little guitar?
No, just singing.
Just singing on the doorstep.
Just sing
like a carol singer, but all year round.
Like, Jason, you need to go to other people's houses. Sorry, Mum.
Please take me back in.
Fucking...
Please, stop leaving me on the street.
So I do it at Christmas, singing Christmas carols. Because I joined a choir when I was 8. And I was like, oh, so I'm sick. I can sing. I'll make money from it. Yes. A little entrepreneur from the age of 8.
Yeah, I like that.
And yes, that's like what I'd do. I'd just go around my local area and I'd like go out for a few hours around Christmas time, sing one verse of Silent Night.
Nice.
And because that's all I knew.
Yeah.
And I come home with like 20, 30 quid. And when you're like 8 years old doing that, I was buying so many pick and mixes. It was amazing.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I'd put that
Pokemon cards.
Oh my goodness. I was a Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yu-Gi-Oh! That's your like OG shit.
Yeah,
that's hardcore.
Proper fucking.
That is hardcore stuff.
Yeah. All the normal kids would play Lego, and I was with like the few nerds who would have Connects.
No.
Oh, I was a Connect kid. Connect kid was so good.
It was like Lego and Pokemon for the normal people, and the weirdos like me would have Yu-Gi-Oh and Connect.
Yeah, I feel like I was
that kid. I was that kid.
That does summarise. I'm split down the middle. Connects and Pokemon was my childhood. I was split down the middle.
Yeah,
well,
that in itself is a nice little pick and mix, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's just whatever you want to do. But yeah, so the that's what I was doing up until the age of 16, and I learnt to play guitar when I was 16, and went from there really. Yeah, so I would only go door to door every Christmas, and then I think it was I skipped forward the 16 thing. So I was about 11 or 12 when I realised, shit, if I went out into the street and did this, that would, give me more access to more people and that, probably do better money-wise, and it fucking did. When you're like 11, 12 years old singing Christmas songs, I've never made such great money when I was 11, 12.
Look at the little kid.
Exactly. I could have sang really shit, and it was just like, fuck, he's cute.
Yeah.
And then, fast forward to being 16, and my parents were like, if you're going to take the music thing seriously, you should probably learn guitar so you can accompany yourself. And so I did. I learned how to play guitar, and that opened up so many avenues for me, because now I could busk all year round, not just at Christmas time. And it went from there, really. Did that in my local town for a year or two. Was not fun. My friends would come and throw eggs at me. It's awful. Yeah. And this is like back in the time where like gay was the number one insult. So if you did anything other than just play Call of Duty and just fucking, I don't know, play football, it was gay. Singing that's well gay. Dances, anything like that. So it was hard, but I loved it, and it was like something that I was good at. So I stuck at it, and I moved to Liverpool when I was like 17, 18.
Okay.
And then my whole life changed. When you go from like a small town where that's the mentality to like a big city, the change is incredible. You meet more open-minded people. You meet people who want to fucking do more. Do you know what I mean? And they're so much more accepting. And like for the first time ever, I was celebrated for what I was doing. I was no longer the weird gay kid who liked to sing. Do you know what I mean? Like a little attention-seeking kid. I was always attention-seeking kid, but like instead of it being a negative thing, it was like, oh my God, he's trying to do something. He's actually trying to do something with his life. And I got my first amplifier, because cities, if you're just playing a guitar, you will not be heard. Got my first speaker, and got my first gig. Played to one person who didn't clap at the end of my songs.
Classic.
And just went from there, man. Started realizing that if I had CDs, I'd make a bit of money that way. Started getting some signs, so people follow me on Instagram. Grew a bit of a following. Through doing that, was able to finally put my own shows on. Like, holy shit, it's my name above the door. People are coming to see me. Not many. As I mentioned, like, I do a Birmingham show, and like 20 people would come. But
it's still sick. Like, either way, that's such a good feeling.
And like just doing that, just grafting on the streets for hours in the rain and the sunshine and just everything. And within 2 years, because I was still living in Liverpool, I did like my first ever Liverpool headline, and we sold it out for like 300 people, and from that was like the best moment of my whole life. And it's just from there really, I'm just like, let's fucking go for it. And then TikTok became a thing, and then it was like I had the same skepticism as everyone else. It's like, it's a kids app, it's all this kind of stuff, and I thought, no, let's do it. Give it a go. And got maybe 3,000 followers in a year, and none of my videos were doing anything whatsoever. And then I remember like people like, you need to do trends, you need to like do the things that everyone else is doing. And I was like, nah, it's not me. I'm an artist. It's not what I want to do. And I remember it was people were doing. Do you remember the harmony thing for Lewis Capaldi?
Yeah.
And I was like, it's something I can get on board, because I sing that song anyway. So I just sang the I've been told to get you off my mind, and then put as the thing, someone duet this, and
that's fine.
Yeah, bless it. You have to bless it now. Thank you.
You'll be pissed off at you.
Smashing up your studio, right?
Smashing up the gun.
Yeah, absolute diva coming in.
Take the bulldog off him. Fuck's sake. Paige, get out of here. And it was like I'd refresh my phone, 8,000 views in like 5 minutes. Holy fucking shit.
Mental, innit?
Refresh it. 10 minutes. 15,000 views. 20 minutes. 30,000 views. So it was like, oh, this is what it's like. This is what it's about. And he got like 800,000 views in a day or two. And I was like, cool. You know, people were hitting me up on Instagram. People wanted me for gigs. You know, people were overnight. They were just like, you know, wanting to just be involved in stuff like this. And I finally got it. Like all throughout my life, it was like little bits of recognition. And then this was the moment where it was like lots of people were interested in my little life. You know what I mean? And it was like, that was like an immediate sense of validation. And within a year, it's I went from like those 3,000 followers to now I've got 1.3 million. And it's just like,
mental, it's mad, isn't it?
TikTok is the only way now really to grow. TikTok or streaming, live streaming. They're the only two ways now you see astronomical growth like that. Like,
or podcast.
Yeah, or, well, fucking hope so.
Literally the opposite.
Like, you can, like, it's really fucking weird. You can get 300 views and be in top 15 in the country. It makes no sense. It makes no sense. But when you look at social media in the sense of, like, actually it being some form of career, there is literally, at the moment, two ways of making it big quickly. And that is TikTok and Twitch, from what I can gather, because Twitch, if you look at like Aiden Ross and, you know, Speed and all of that, like the IRL streamers, a lot of people are getting really bought into them as well. So actually using it as a utility for a lot of creators it's stupid not to. Like, we've not seen a lot of success through TikTok, but I think we were blacklisted early doors because I got my cock out on it.
They do that.
Yeah.
So that shouldn't do that.
People don't like that.
No. Not good.
Some people like it.
So, well,
people liked it.
People like it.
People in corporations don't like it.
Big people that wear suits don't like it.
Pornhub would love it.
Yes.
They would.
They would endorse it. Yeah.
Yeah, or OnlyFans.
Yeah, but I mean, that's the next.
I know they started to not like it, didn't they?
They did, but then they realised that they literally had no one else on the site.
Oh, we're losing money. Oh, cocks!
Yeah. Bring the nipple.
Peter, bring the dicks!
Come on.
Put it on our shit.
Put it on our shit. Put the knob on the shit.
Didn't know you said chin. Did you say chin?
I was going to say screen, but the only thing that could come into my head was mouth. It was the only thing that could come to my head. I was trying to say screen.
Screen.
Anywho.
Yeah.
But yeah, TikTok is something. Anyway, we're talking about astronomical growth on social media, and TikTok is sheerly only the way to get that sort of growth. Like,
the numbers just went like and it affected everything else. Like, I feel like before TikTok, if you had like 1 million followers on Instagram, you were huge. And like then it started being like these, like the most followed people on Instagram would have like 20, 30 million. That like now on TikTok, then it's like 100 million followers.
Yeah,
like, what? Like, that had not happened before TikTok.
No,
I might just be misremembering. People did not have that many followers.
I'm not a special case in any. I mean, it's like I'm just another person with 1 million followers. Like, I mean, it's a normal fucking thing now on TikTok.
Amazing, but it's more of it than there used to be, in the sense of like, I just think the numbers all of a sudden just went like exploded.
It is stupid amounts of interactions as well. Like, it is crazy.
The TikTok algorithm scares the shit out of me.
It is scary. It is really, really, really scary.
Like, the other night when we were talking in the pub, right, and we've spoken before about the lives that you get. So when you scroll in, what lives come up? There's always weird fucking trends that come up, right? So originally it was like people playing Snake, like literally the old school girl on the phone. They'd be playing that, and it would come up on lives, and we had a chat about it, and it was funny and stuff. And then we were in a call, and you were like, are you lives people peeling eggs yet? And
the eggs, yeah.
And I was like, what are you on about? We took the piss out of you for a bit, and we were like, shut up, Elliot, like, talking about eggs, whatever. Literally came off, we were playing on the Xbox, came off, went on my phone, the very first one that comes up, guy fucking peeling his egg with his little thing. And I'm like, I messaged you straight away, this is fucking weird. Like, they're listening and whatever. The other night we're at the pub, and you're like, have you seen the new live? And I was like, what are you on about? And he's like, they're like scratch cards, but they're crossword puzzles. Have you had these yet? You will now, because I've spoken about it. Your phone's listening.
Oh, yeah, of course, yeah.
And they're like scratching the words off. They're literally basically just doing scratch cards on live to see what they win. That's essentially the concept. And again, took the piss out of you. And we're like, that's not real. You had to sit and search and find it to prove it. And I was like, whatever. Got home, went on TikTok. The very first thing that comes up this fucking bloke playing the scratch card across.
What's his name? It's called like Light Skin Ashton or something like that. Same bloke. He's on all the time. His last live got 20 million likes. It was stupid.
So I put it in the group chat, like, boys, I'm sorry, I'm not even taking the piss now. This is just.
And I'll tell you what your next ones. I'll tell you what your next ones will be now.
Here we go.
It will be snooker or pool ball racing on a treadmill, and someone takes.
Oh yeah, they're great.
Brilliant. That's the next.
I actually watched that for a good 5 minutes. Not gonna lie. They had little cars on a treadmill, and they put countries on it. It's like Scotland,
brilliant.
right? I'm half English, half Scottish, so I'm like, I've got fucking.
I'm in now.
I've got double the chance. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
See, I just think it's one of them ones now where I've got TikTok for me. I've got 2 TikToks. I've got one that I use and it's my TikTok. I've got one that's trained for trends. So like I've trained it to get American only TikTok and all the trends. So I see it So I've kind of trained it so it's all literally like the Chad D'Amelios, the Bryce Halls, all of that lot. So I just see all of their trends because the trends in the UK, it comes about a week later from America, give or take. It's kind of somehow how I've kind of gathered it, and I quite like keeping on top of it. But I quite like seeing all of my English one keeps up with all the English trends. So when you see all of the lives and stuff, the live trends are normally English live trends, like the peel in the egg. Was a massive trend in the UK for some reason, but you never really saw it on my American one.
They're all Russian, aren't they? I feel they're all Russian.
Yeah, but I think it's massive in just the EU area. Like, I feel like that's a period where for some reason
the people like saying or clicking something a billion times.
I was waiting to say that because that fucking does my tits in. I hate that. Because if you want to spend your fucking evening peeling an egg. And people will fucking pay you to do that.
Amazing.
It is satisfying. I did sit and watch it for a long time.
That's humans, right? But if you, before you go live, you put on your iPad the number 999,994, right? Or whatever, so that it looks like you've spent all that time getting to that number, and then you go, come on, guys, stop. Because it's like, if you give us this, it's going to make the number go down. So that people go, oh, I'm going to be a troll. No, you're being trolled, you dickhead. He's not got all the way. And
I love it.
Just before he gets to the maximum number, you're the fucking guy who stops it.
Pure manipulation.
It literally is, and it shouldn't. This is where I'm a bit of an old man. I don't think that should be fucking legal.
Oh, I think it's brilliant.
Because he's fucking lying. Why should that be?
That's funny though. That's quality.
But then on the other side, you could be like, if people are stupid enough.
I mean, it's essentially just capitalism. That's
you're not allowed to scam people. Like, I can't give an example, but if we were out in the street and I manipulated you into giving me money because I lied to you, I feel that would be illegal.
Yeah.
But people are doing that online.
I guess the legality is that they haven't explicitly said. Well, they do say pressing it a billion times. Don't they?
They are saying that they are. But
I think I
agree. It's just
what happens if they get nothing? That it'll end. So it doesn't benefit you to not make them. You are actively trying to be a dick by stopping them getting that number. So that's why you deserve to be trolled.
Yeah.
I guess what you can say.
I also think it's not necessarily just manipulating the person that is paying the £1.50 or whatever it is for each of the. I don't actually know what the price.
They scale it then. That might be my first risk. It literally doesn't matter.
Like you end up like it's one of them ones where you can't. I don't know what the actual prices are, but I think the people that are doing it are manipulating the system and the virality of people keeping in tune and stuff. And I think that it depends on why you're doing it. I think if you're doing it sheerly on the monetary value,
of course,
which is some people do, but you also have to be. Don't you have to have a certain amount of followers to be able to go live?
Yes.
Is it 1,000 or 10,000? It used to be 10,000.
I think it used to be 1,000. Now it's 10,000.
Is it? Oh, okay.
I think so. Yeah.
So they've had to have grown their account enough to get 10,000 followers.
Yeah, but you can still do that.
But I think that I don't know whether. Because personally, I always think like sometimes like the trick shot guys, the people that do,
they're cool, they're brilliant,
they're amazing, and they are doing it for growth of their following,
their content
and money,
and money. But like, because obviously then your content creates the money, but like you're still kind of doing it for the content. You're growing your following base to some extent, and that's what the lives are so good for is the growth of followers through a live, isn't it? Like the growth of followers through a live, not necessarily the financial gain. Because if you're going for financial gain, you go for Twitch or a bigger live stream service where it was
I don't
more
know,
orientated.
Yeah, but it's a pool of people. People on Twitch are, I would say, on average, going to be smarter people.
Yeah,
I'll be honest. And secondly,
it's smart as in like the method, the things that they do is smart.
They're going to watch content and like do something. If you go on Twitch and you're pressing a button, no fucker on Twitch is going to watch that.
Yeah, true.
And on TikTok, the thing is, you have the sort of sample size is so much bigger.
Yeah, big pool, isn't it?
You've got basically probably like 2 billion people on that app.
Mm-hmm.
If you're doing something that's basically a scam, the more people that you get to see it, the more percentage of those people are going to be stupid enough to want to pay you to not get to a billion, and then you start.
And the issue is laws haven't caught up yet, so laws haven't caught up with the future of that.
I mean, I think it's
like,
a really.
For example, I quite like keeping in touch with the NFT scene as well. Being like, with it being a massive thing on the internet at the minute, I really like keeping in touch with it.
Yeah.
So I'm in Discords for NFTs and stuff like that. But if you keep on your private messages, you will get spam messages of people that have made a whole fake website that you can connect your wallet to, that have a fake pre-list or a fake whitelist or a fake sale, pre-sale and stuff like that. So you can then give them 0.3 ETH or whatever it is to buy the NFT at minting. They then will take that money off you and give you nothing. And it's an early age scam, but it's technically not quite illegal, because if you write
everything's so new,
and if you write in the log that you are paying this money to not receive anything, you have not scammed them. You've just caught someone just being fucking.
I mean,
thick.
it's a bit like if you ring someone and pretend and basically ask for the card details and they just give you them. I mean, that's theory. There's not a lot you can do, because if you've just told them.
No, but that is illegal.
Yeah, but it comes a point. It's illegal. Say if you're impersonating something else. But if I just rang you and said, "What are your card details?" and you gave me them, that is not illegal.
Does that happen?
Well, no, but it does.
Hello,
it does, right?
Don't worry about who I am. Could you do me a quick favour?
Can you PayPal me?
Yeah. You seriously.
I've run out of petrol. I need £700.
You're going to feel bad now. An elderly woman with dementia picks up the phone and you say, "Hello, please can you just tell me your card details again for me?" They probably will just do it. And it happens. So now you feel bad because
you're putting it fucking out there now.
It's listening.
You're giving people ideas.
No.
Does that count as being
protect your nan?
You hate
protect
women,
your nan.
and that is now out there. I was going to say to the world. The world don't watch this. Luckily, because we would be so very cancelled.
So very
interesting. I was going to say,
I'll put it out to my TikTok. We'll get everyone in.
That's different. Yeah. Elliot hates old women. Only clip that he's going to share. Fucking wait. I think it is amazing. I think like you have nailed a really nice part of TikTok that is just
it's a wholesome part.
It's really wholesome content. But as you say, I think we've had chats before with a few bands and stuff that have utilised TikTok and have done really well, and then that transition to streams and tickets like yours is nice because like if any video of you busking goes viral remotely, like you are literally singing in the video. So you've got that, like you're not, like we had the Reels on, they're a great band and the music's brilliant. They're really funny on TikTok and they get like virality, but the virality comes from them being funny, not from the music. Whereas if yours goes viral, you're singing in the video. So it's but you don't have as much stress about kind of proving that you're about music.
No, but mine's the same. But with them doing funny stuff and me doing busking, yes, mine is singing, but I'm singing Ed Sheeran and Adele.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
It's closer link.
It's a closer link,
but not.
But with the nature of the app, it's so like I'm hearing them out.
Yeah.
That, as I mentioned earlier, not a lot of people will make that connection to know that I do have my own music out and stuff like this. So I know what you're saying. It's not like I'm just like making random jokes and then people would never guess that I'm doing music. People would make a better guess to know that I'm a singer from seeing me sing than seeing a band doing jokes. And
it's like,
but it is quite. It's
only one step closer.
It's almost as difficult to get that person to, because knowing is one thing, doing is another.
Who I think who's got the fucking biggest task on TikTok to try and get people to stream their music is the bloke. Have you seen the bloke who pretends to be Voldemort at his dinner table?
Yeah,
him. I only just saw that he does music.
Yeah.
He does music.
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
I think he's so funny.
Oh my God.
And then the angle from under his chin, and he's just sort of getting, he's just getting, and he's like, stop that, I did a table again, and he's like, so funny.
His mum fucking hates him. It's amazing.
Brilliant. He does music.
Yeah. I just saw that video that he does, and now I can't make the connection. And guess what? Didn't go check out his music.
I didn't.
Sorry if you're watching.
No, but this is the exact point of like, that's great, but you've almost gone up this ladder. And you're like, but I want to be the top of this ladder, and it's like it doesn't. You can't just jump across.
Some do though. Like in America, it's been massive with like the Lil Huddies, your Dixie D'Amelios, your fucking
but that's
Jaden and stuff like that. But it's because they've got massive music backing that they've done well.
Yeah, it's different.
So it's like,
different.
you see...
they're different. They're kind of already established.
And it's percentages. Like, if you've got 100 million followers and you get 10 million of them to listen to your music, you're still then one of the biggest artists in the world. It's like when you're that big, you can do anything. And people are going to come across to it. But when it's at a level of, like, you've built a fan base that if that whole fan base is supporting your music, you would be fucking massive. 1.3 million people listen to your music every month.
Oh, mate.
You would be fucking massive.
Yeah, literally.
Like, so it's that transition is so difficult. But like, I feel like you have got a really good platform to make that transition. It seems like
it's there. It's thing is, it's a bit of a double-edged sword, because other people, like maybe music managers or labels or whatever, they'd be like, well, how come you've got these followers but you've only got like 10, 20,000 people listening to you monthly on Spotify? And it could go the opposite way. Whereas if I had 10,000 followers on TikTok, yet 20,000 listening, they'd be like, fucking hell, this guy's got something about him. There's a buzz there. So I don't want to be that guy who's like, but it's 1.3 mil, right? But it can actually go against you.
Yeah.
I think
for me, it does a little bit.
I do also think there's that is a big issue within people in the major music organisations of being misled or misinformed, or they misunderstand the scope that these newer forms of media have. And I think actually the fact that, the best one I'll bring them up again, and I think they're fucking amazing, is crawlers are the prime example of them. And crawlers have manipulated the scene in a sense of like TikTok and used their humour and used their stuff like that. But actually also got that virality track out of it as well. Whereas if you showed them to a music label when they had like 200k on TikTok and they hadn't released...
Are they doing that one on TikTok?
Oh, Crawlers come out again. Come over
again. Do you know how I know them?
How?
Justin Hawkins. From The Darkness?
Yeah.
He's got his own YouTube channel.
Okay.
And he promotes like his highlights on TikTok. And I saw that and I was like, this guy seems pretty fucking cool, man. He just seems the silly guy from The Darkness.
Yeah.
He's fucking brilliant, by the way.
Really?
Go check him out. He's a really lovely fucking guy.
Oh, well.
Really nice content. And he did a video on crawlers. And I was like, I'll go check them out. So I don't know any of what you're talking about. I've not seen him on TikTok.
So Instagram Reels was one of their really big blow-up sources.
Oh, wow.
So it was right when Instagram Reels became a thing. We spoke about them on when they released Placebo, which
we're OG fans because we're cool as fuck.
We knew about them. Yeah, also we were there from the start.
Yeah,
so we were kind of in tune with them when they were on like 3,000 followers. They literally started releasing these Instagram Reels, and within 3 days went from 3,000 to 80k.
Holy shit!
It was unbelievable.
They hit Instagram, because that is literally the equivalent of me going from 3,000 to 1.3.
Yeah, it's
in a few days.
Yeah. It was absurd.
It's so hard on Instagram. That's amazing.
That come over again. Has been used by Kim and Northwest on their fucking page, which is mental. It's one of the top trending tracks on TikTok with people fucking using just the song, and that in general like facilitates a lot of stuff. And I think until you get that facilitation from TikTok, so beforehand the music labels weren't necessarily going to be as interested. Now they fucking love it because that song has X amount of plays. And that's the big deciding factor for these huge things, where instead they could have seen them at 80k and gone, or 100k on TikTok, wherever they were at the time. You could have seen that and gone, market here. There's a market here. Something could happen here. There's something here. There's a bubbling source of fan base that is there ready to kind of blow up in some regard. And I think that's where people miss it. like in the bigger scene. And I think it's quite interesting when you look at, Crawlers as one of them, where that song has done stupid. Blondes are another one.
But that they've done it perfectly.
Yeah.
They are an artist, a band. They have their songs, which is what they are promoting, right? Which is what they want people to listen to. They uploaded just that, and it's blown up from just that.
Yeah,
so people are there for 100% of the thing they want.
Yeah.
When I upload videos, it's amazing for me that it's positive, because I wouldn't be able to do it as often as I do if it wasn't positive and it wasn't helping people, because I'm an artist and I want people to go check out my music. So if it wasn't positive, I want to be able to continue to not promote my music, because I know it works. But for them to get that virality and it goes straight back into their music, that is literally so perfect.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Crazy.
And I mean, we did a little like World Cup thing in like August of like different bands of different sizes and doing like some polls and stuff, and we ran that. They won our best band. I think it was between 50 and 100,000 monthly listeners in August. I think they now, last time I looked, it's like 1.6 million monthly listeners they've got. So that's translated to these people are listening. But I guess that's where the difference lies.
That must be from TikTok.
Literally from TikTok. And it's a fucking
Spotify
belter of a song.
Oh really?
So
Spotify
they catch on to TikTok.
It's a snowball, isn't it? Because like no one will listen to your music, and then as soon as it comes from TikTok, everyone's listening, and because everyone's listening, they will make even more people listen.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, are you doing really well? Here's even more wellness. It's like,
so wild.
It's the difference as well between, like, say one of your videos going viral and getting millions, but really what you want is you to use skin as a sound, say, and that go viral. Nothing to do with you. It doesn't gain you followers, but everyone's fucking using your sound. Yeah, and that's when people then follow it through to Spotify. It's almost like a difference between like your videos and your account going viral and your song going viral. And that's what I think it was for them. They obviously blew up in a different way, and then this one that's actually translated across is because Come Over Again went viral. There wasn't nothing really to do with it. The song was just out there.
Yeah.
People found it, thought this is cool, I'll use it. And the sound goes viral without you.
Yeah.
But people follow that sound through to Spotify and they're like, fuck. And it's also, it's like that's really what you want, but it's impossible to do, to just upload your song and be like, someone use it for this.
The thing is,
that's
when
why
you look at
marketers involved,
exactly.
Make the story beforehand.
Exactly. And well, that's why the Crawlers thing is so impressive, is because actually they've built this fan base and fucking die-hard fans. Like it's kind of stupid when you start actually like they did something called what was it? It was like a Crawlers cult sort of thing, is what they're called, and it's like they do a whole thing where they were like almost introducing each other on social media, and they were doing like a couple of pictures of them, and people were getting involved on Twitter and stuff. It was like the like, you know, when like Tommy in it and that like all do like Tommy's pics or whatever, and they like their fans post pics. Crawlers got that all involved, but when you look at they built this fan base on TikTok and stuff, and people related to them. That fan base decided to then use that sound to then give it that viral, that initial push. Then the algorithm took it rest away, and that's, I think, the most fascinating part, is because of that initial fan base, built, bubbled. Then that is probably what pushed it for them higher than average streams or uses of the song, which then pushed it into the algorithm, which then took it the rest of the way. And I think that's the bit of where like the whole management don't quite get the scene yet, is because that is plausible. Yeah, when you've got the viewership.
I don't. No, I don't. I actually, I've not said this publicly. I was actually signed in 2021.
Okay.
Just like a little independent. I won't say who it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, I had a manager who was like a friend of mine for years, and got assigned to the label. Everything was going well, and my head just fell off.
Yeah,
really?
Like because I've always, everything that I have is down to busking, and it's always like through my own. I've had complete control over everything, and I guess I'm a bit control freak in that aspect. If I don't, I get a bit anxious. Like I don't know what's happening. And as mentioned that earlier, my happiness is my freedom.
Yeah.
And it went very quickly to, okay, this label's involved. Because at the time I wanted to, like the songs that I'm releasing now, I wanted to release them as a band. So I actually had a band, we had our own name, we had our thing.
Oh, cool.
Because my solo stuff picked up so quickly because of the TikTok, the manager was like, listen, man, like, I think we should go forward as a solo. And you should have your own songs and stuff, and just put the band aside for now and just see where this goes for like maybe a year. And it went so quickly. Like within weeks, the label signed me, and it was like, shit, I've gone from not wanting to do my solo stuff and being excited to be in a band to like, I'm back to me, and I need to know what my look is, my logo. And it was just like, and I was just moving into my first house.
Right, guys, sorry to interrupt the podcast. I'm just editing the podcast at the moment, as you can see. I've come across an issue with the footage, so we're actually going to have to cut the video here. There's another 25-30 minutes of podcast left to hear with Jason Allan. If you want to check it out, it's on Apple Podcasts, it's on Spotify, Google Cast, anything you listen to your podcasts on. Check it out on over there. And if you've enjoyed the video, I promise you there will be full episodes on this channel. I am trying to get full episodes up, but you know, sometimes these things do happen. So subscribe to the channel around here if you're on YouTube. If you are on Spotify, head on over, check out the rest of the podcast, click on the little subscribe button, and notifications turned on. We've got some great guests coming up over the next few weeks. Thank you very much for watching. We love you all, and we'll see you on the other side. Peace!